Everybody is ablaze right now. Everybody's wondering what is really going on with AngelReese. Has she just flat out quit again? Has she quit on the Chicago Sky? Angel, you gotta be, hold on, you have to have some level of self-awareness here. Angel?
It started with a rumor. A quiet whisper in the corners of the WNBA media world that AngelReese, one of the most polarizing and rookies in years, was done. Finished. Walking away from the Chicago Sky and possibly the league altogether. At first, no one wanted to believe it. After all, Reese came into the WNBA with the kind of buzz that sports marketing executives dream about. The college highlight reels. The national championship drama. The unapologetic swagger. She wasn't just a basketball player, she was a headline machine. But
I think AngelReese, and I'm saying this with my chest out, I think she's quit on the Chicago Sky. She's been claiming a back injury basically since the All-Star break. And there's no details. Every day we hear that AngelReese is day to day. And every week there's no update on what she's struggling with, what she's doing. There's nothing. There's no information about AngelReese. I think she's quit on this season. I think this is a worse version than Kawhi Leonard.
Now the headlines were different. Words like humiliated, burnout, and quit were suddenly floating around in the same sentences as her name. And worst of all, there was another name that kept coming up every time AngelReese was mentioned, Caitlin Clark. From the moment they both entered the league, the narrative was set: Caitlin Clark, the All-American shooter breaking ratings records, and AngelReese, the fiery, physical enforcer who had once waved goodbye to Clark on national TV. It was—
Hey, look, bro, you gotta remember, she quit in Unrivaled. She just stopped playing in Unrivaled. Said she was hurt, didn't show up for the championship game, didn't even show up and watch. Last season, she claimed her wrist was messed up, didn't finish playing in none of the games. Now, this year, she's saying this season, it's her back. It looked like she's not finishing playing in none of the games. The Sky needs you. The Chicago Sky, you guys are the gum on the bottom of the shoe of the league. They need AngelReese to play in games. Angel, where you at? Where are you at, Angel? This is nuts.
Supposed to be a rivalry that would define a new era of women's basketball. Instead, it became a comparison Reese couldn't escape and couldn't seem to win. The whispers turned into speculation, and the speculation turned into something louder. Sports talk shows started asking the question out loud. Is AngelReese walking away because she can't handle the pressure? Or because the league doesn't need her the way it needs Caitlin Clark?
AngelReese! She might have tapped out, y'all. AngelReese may have tapped out and quit on the Chicago Sky. Everybody is speculating. What is this back injury? What's going on? Hey, are you trying to pretend like you hurt because Caitlin Clark really is hurt? Wait. What's going on? What's going on, man?
It wasn't just the ESPN panelists or Twitter threads stirring the pot. Even former WNBA players were weighing in. Some called Reese a distraction. Others said she was being set up to fail by a league that didn't know how to market her without turning her into a villain. And while everyone else was talking, Reese herself went silent. No cryptic tweet. No Instagram story with a motivational quote. Nothing. That silence only made the noise louder. Inside the Chicago Sky organization, sources
using her back as an excuse to sit out because she doesn't really care about basketball. I think she looks over at Caitlin Clark and says, hey, Caitlin Clark is out with a legitimate injury. I proved my point before the All-Star game when I went on a 10-game run trying to justify being on the All-Star team. When that first ballot came out, when the first voting results came out about the All-Star game and I was 13th, holy cow, AngelReese panicked, started playing hard, tried to put up some stats to justify being on the All-Star team, did that, and now she said, hey, the Chicago Sky sucked this year, peace out.
Said the tension had been building for weeks. Teammates were frustrated, Coaches were frustrated. And the front office was repeatedly worried that Reese's constant media spotlight and the controversies that came with it were overshadowing the actual basketball. Van Seors described it like this.
She identified once they lost Vandersloot, their point guard, early in the year, and once they started getting their brains beat in, hey, we're not going to win anything this year. I'm not putting these L's on my resume. I'm going to have an excuse for the Chicago Sky potentially coming in with the worst or second worst record in the WNBA. These losses will not be on my resume.
It felt like we were living inside an AngelReese reality show instead of playing in the WNBA. It didn't help that the numbers weren't on her side. While Caitlin Clark was breaking rookie scoring records, Reese's stats told a different story: lower scoring averages, inconsistent shooting, and foul trouble that kept her on the bench at critical moments. The media loved to paint Reese as the league's bad girl, but when you strip away the drama, sports is still about.
Last year with the Chicago Sky, you quit. You quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realized you never stood a chance, to be honest, with Caitlin Clark for that Rookie of the Year. But once you realized your double streak was over, and it was over. She took over post-Olympic break. Once you realized it was done, you threw in the towel, said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year. You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season. You didn't even show up for the championship. No, not only did you not play, you didn't even show up to the game at all. People noticing a pattern with you. That's 2 seasons in a row.
This performance. And in that category, she was falling behind. Then came the game. The one that, according to multiple insiders, broke everything open. It was a nationally televised matchup, Reese's Chicago Sky versus Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever. The WNBA couldn't have scripted it better. It was supposed to be a showcase.
Let's get it! Burn! Lack of awareness combined with a lack of ability to jump, not great! Burn!
Me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow.
Yeah! Again! Do it for me. Me bound! Burn!
A ratings booster. A night to prove that this rivalry could carry the lead. Instead, it was a disaster for Reese. From the opening tip, Clark dominated. Threes, passes, layups. Every time Clark scored, the crowd roared, and every time Reese touched the ball, the boos seemed just a little bit louder. By the third quarter, Reese was in foul trouble again, sitting on the bench with a towel over her head while Clark ran up the score. The cameras caught every second.
Williams gonna have to hurry off the dribble, rolls out. Oh, open three. Oh, what a sight for Alexi Hall. She has needed that one to drop.
Alexi Hall catching fire.
Now Chicago just needs to get it a little bit more settled here in the half court. Nurse loses it. Mitchell 2-on-1. It's a foot race. Mitchell to Cunningham.
Of it. The commentators couldn't stop talking about it. And by the end of the night, social media had declared the rivalry officially over. What happened next was fast. Faster than anyone expected. The very next morning, multiple sports insiders dropped the same bombshell. AngelReese was leaving. Some said she was stepping away for mental health reasons. Others said it.
They do not understand is that coaches, and I know the WNBA in some regards isn't a real sports league, and I don't know if they think like real coaches and real people in sports, but the number one ability is availability. If you're not available, you have no value.
It was creative differences with the Sky's coaching staff. And then there were the Abrupt takes that Reese was quitting because she couldn't compete with Caitlin Clark. Whatever the reason, the optics were bad. really bad. That's where the humiliation part comes in. Because in sports, especially at the pro level, walking away is rarely seen as a personal choice. The narrative gets written for you.
New strategy, team. Angel, keep doing your part. Everyone else, go rebound her misses. Burn! If she keeps missing layups at this rate, she's gonna be serving buttermilk pancakes at Denny's. Butter? Did somebody say butter? Butter pecan! Burn! At a certain point, you just got to applaud greatness. A rebound on her back? Are you kidding? Bang! Simon says, give me another pray-up. How about it? Bang! She really hit under the basket on a layup. Get this girl GPS. Bang! Everybody get up on your feet. It's time to meet and greet the most underpaid athlete. Bang!
And once it's out there, it's almost impossible to rewrite. For Reese, that narrative was simple. Caitlin Clark won. AngelReese lost. It didn't matter that the reality was far more complicated. It didn't matter that Reese's exit might have had nothing to do with Clark at all. The media saw an easy storyline, and they ran with it like it was a fast break in the final seconds.
Appears to have a legitimate injury that everybody can trace to a moment and a time during the games where she re-aggravated. She originally injured. She had a comeback where it lasted 2 or 3 games, re-injured it. They've hinted at a time frame of late August that she may return. Nothing but a mystery surrounds AngelReese. Indiana Fever destroy the Chicago Sky in Indianapolis on Saturday. Guess who wasn't there? AngelReese. AngelReese declined to travel to Indianapolis, and her coach came out and said something about, she's just focused on her rehab right now, and, she's day to day. We've never had an explanation on what caused the back injury, what's a time frame for her recovery. It's similar to so-and-so's back injury. This is something she struggled with here or there. All we've heard is day to day. And
I'm proud of this group. I think we've shown all season long, like they're resilient, they're connected. They pull for each other. They enjoy one another. They celebrate one another, and that stuff alone is good for 10 to 12 points a game. And for this group, the way that they share the ball, how unselfish they are. I mean, I'm really proud of them. It's not been ideal circumstances all season long, but they've shown the character of who they are. They've been resilient. They've responded to adversity, and they continue to elevate one another. And I couldn't be more proud of this group than I am at this moment.
Them forward.
What is the back injury? Everybody's questioning it now, and this will be a 3rd straight season where AngelReese did not finish playing in games, where she just stopped. Some of these injuries, we saw the injuries. We didn't see what happened. What happened? This is bad.
I think it just says a lot about who we have as human beings. That was one of the things that we made a priority in the off season of, who we bring into this organization. Number one, quality human beings, selfless human beings that want to pull for one another, that understand. We have this depth for a reason, and sometimes it creates challenges getting people on the floor. But in situations like this is why you have it. And I'm just, she's right. I mean, as a pro and as a pro coach, this is one of the most connected groups I've seen. I mean.